out more and take your browser over to supertalktv.com. You'll see I've got some friends in the studio with me today. I'm not alone. And if you are into cookie dough, man, you're going to become fast friends with these two, like Rhino and I already have. I have with me Natchez natives, but also siblings, Hannah and Nathan Hinkle, and they are here with their business, Rolling in the Dough, which, best name ever, Hannah. Let me just start out by saying, if you are going to sell cookie dough, that may be the best name I've ever heard for a business of rolling in the dough, which you said your dad gave you.
Yes, he sure did. I'd started the cookie dough at the farmer's market, and it was so brand new. We didn't have any kind of name or anything for it. And he had just built a cookie dough cart for our business, and he was like, rolling in the dough. That's it. That's got to be it for the cookie dough.
And I think it's caught on, and it's been rolling with you ever since. So let's back up, though, just a little bit, because it's not every day someone just starts a business to then start selling something they enjoy at the farmer's market. There had to be a spark before then. So when did you first fall in love or create the idea of creating, cookie dough that obviously could be shelf-stable and safe to consume? Because, all those weirdos tell us we're not supposed to eat cookie dough, which you laugh about that, too. Nobody's died from cookie dough poisoning, huh?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. But yours is safe to eat, safe to consume.
Yes.
So where did the love of cookie dough come from, Hannah?
Alrighty, so kind of how we stumbled upon the cookie dough is we had just moved to Natchez. I was brand new, already graduated, and I was trying to figure out kind of what I wanted to do kind of with the rest of my life. And, I'd worked at a few restaurants in Natchez here and there, but nothing really stuck. And we ended up going to Perdido Key, Florida for a little vacation, and me and my mom stumbled upon a cookie dough shop there. And oh my gosh, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I've never seen anything like this. And so we went in and we tried it, and it was like, okay, cool, cookie dough. And we came home from vacation, and my mom was like, you need to try this ASAP. Like, you need to try to create your own cookie dough. And so that's what I did. I got into my kitchen, I pre-baked my own flour, and I started testing out recipes, and ended up creating 3 flavors at the time. It was our chocolate chip, a funfetti, and a brownie batter. And that's the flavors that we ended up bringing out to the farmer's market that following weekend. So it was super sudden.
It's tough to say, man, this all sort of snowballed kind of quickly. But, when you start clicking on all cylinders and an idea is working, like, why not go ahead and just move forward with it and see what happens? You didn't have a whole lot to lose, right? Folks don't buy it. Folks don't buy it. So folks started buying it, though, huh?
They did. It took a little while. It took some convincing at first because, the first reaction is cookie dough. Wait, hold on. That has eggs in it, right? You can't be out here at the farmer's market selling cookie dough. I'm like, don't worry. It doesn't have eggs. It's all good.
And then once they started to catch on, then it became, now you have your own storefront.
We did. We did have a storefront in downtown Natchez. We had it from 2019 till 2021. Our landlord ended up selling the building, so we don't have a location at the moment, but we're looking to get into another one very soon. So we're excited about that.
Well, I'm excited for you. And Nathan, I know as the younger brother, when your sister starts baking at home, whether it's cookies, cupcakes, or whatever, do you get excited?
Yes. Oh, lots of sweets in our home. She just started creating all these pastries and delicious treats, and every week it was like we were getting a new sweet treat. And
being the taste tester for that is not like a bad gig at all. I mean, were you honest with her? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
As honest as I could be. Like, her stuff was amazing, and then as her business started to develop, things just got busier and busier, and then she called upon me, and now I'm a sous chef alongside her, and I know all the recipes, and she teaches me all the stuff, and I make it for customers as well.
Keeping it in rolling in the dough, keeping it in the family. You hit on something too, Hannah, talking about you have to convince folks to maybe try something, because cookie dough is one of those things, we've all eaten it. It's your most favorite part of the entire cooking baking experience. And if you go from the first ingredient to a hot, warm cookie out of the oven, and you don't lick a spoon or, go for a taste or something, I'm not sure if you're even human, but there is that pause that you shouldn't eat too much of it, or that comes with the warning because of the eggs. So let's talk about how you created a product, which you brought for Rhino and I to try today, that actually tastes like cookie dough, but it's not like your traditional standard cookie dough recipe. So where's the difference? Like, how did you make that happen?
Yeah, so the biggest difference for our cookie dough is there's absolutely no eggs, no baking soda or baking powder, so there's nothing to make it rise. And the flour is pre-baked, so it's 100% safe to eat raw. And it's pretty much just the process of it, like getting the textures right. So adjusting that. It still has, your basics like butter, sugar, has the flour, and then vanilla, which really helps get that cookie dough flavor. So it's really just about getting that texture right. And that was the biggest challenge, I think, as far as the cookie dough goes, like getting it to the perfect texture. To make it taste like, your familiar nostalgic, like cookie dough.
Once you got folks to take a taste, I mean, their face has to say it all, because I feel like mine did, because you were pleasantly surprised that you are getting a big spoon full, if you can see it over at SuperTalk TV, I'm holding it up, of actual, it looks like cookie dough. Like, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, Hannah. I mean, you have things that are like wedding cake flavor or birthday cake flavor or cookie dough flavored, but this feels like the cookie dough experience, and I think that sets it apart. I think that's very unique. So I can see where folks are like, you mean I can eat this whole thing and not you may get sick, but it's not it's not because of eggs or anything like that. Okay, Rhino, I see you back there licking your spoon. What do you think about it?
I have eaten a canyon into my tub. It's about 5 or 6 spoonfuls have been taken out so far.
So I can imagine that your patrons there at Natchez were sad to see that your storefront had left. I know you're going to bring it back when you can, but walk us into your building. Was it like if you go into an ice cream shop and set up the same way, or did you order it by like tubs? Like, how do folks order cookie dough?
Yeah, so when we had our storefront, what we had was a cookie dough bar, so very similar to what you would walk into an ice cream shop and see. We had usually about 5 to 8 different cookie dough flavors that people could choose from. We could give out samples, and they could order it just by the cup, or we also served it with ice cream. We also had a sundae where you could pour iced coffee over the cookie dough and ice cream, even in between 2 cookies, like a cookie dough sandwich. So we have a whole variety. Yeah, of like cookie dough themed things.
Yeah,
a lot of our menu items were actually created by customers who just came in and were like, can you put it on this? Can you put it in a cup and just pour stuff on it?
Absolutely. Yes. The answer is yes. Let's create this deliciousness together.
Yes.
So your mom's the one who encouraged you to do this, Hannah. Is she shocked that it's taken off the way that it has?
I think she's so excited. She has absolutely loved every second of this and being a part of it. I mean, it really took our entire family. My dad was our graphic designer. He did our logos and all of that. Mom was moral support and like a whole variety of things for our shop and for the business. And so it was just such a really cool thing. It took all of us, and it was hard work, and it is hard work, but we have loved every second of it, just to be able to have this in our community and like be able to serve everybody. It's been so amazing.
So it's one thing to have a product that your friends and family enjoy and maybe even have a steady business there on Main Street. It's another thing though to go states away and take your recipe up against 50 or 60 other dessert specialists, which you guys did at the Dessert Wars. Am I getting that correctly? In Atlanta. Okay, when was the competition? It was the 1st of April, wasn't it? Or how long ago was it?
So it was April 2nd. We drove up a day before to Atlanta, but it was April 2nd, and it was from like around 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I think.
1 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so it was just like one day. So it's like 50 or 60, though. What were the other desserts like, though you were up against?
Yeah, so they had such an amazing variety. It was such a cool thing to see. They had all sorts of things from like cinnamon rolls and cookies, and they had ice cream and the rolled ice cream, like a whole variety of things, brownies, bars, all kinds of things. I'm sure macaroons were in there somewhere.
They'd have to be, right?
Yes,
it's a dessert
they have
wars.
to. Yes. So there was such an amazing variety, and each individual dessert was so unique in their own way. It was just incredible.
Well, we're going to learn more about how Hannah walked away with a trophy at the Dessert Wars for her Rollin' in the Dough, the OG chocolate chip, coming up next here on Good Things. donate. And I think all of us can go back to our childhood experiences where we ate cookie dough. And I'm with Chris from Oxford on our text line, guys. It says, if Rocky can suck down a dozen eggs, a little bit of cookie dough is not going to hurt anybody. And I totally agree with that. But Hannah and Nathan, with rolling in the dough out of Natchez, they at least found a way to take that part out of it so you can eat all the cookie dough you want. If you got sick, it's because of the quantity, not because of the ingredients that are in the cookie dough. Okay, so earlier this month, when did you even find out that the Dessert Wars was a thing to go and to compete with?
So it was just a random day, maybe in like February or March. I was just looking up dessert competitions just in our area or outside of our area. And I stumbled upon Dessert Wars online. I'd never seen it before. And I'm like, this is amazing. I mean, I can't believe this is a thing. And so I just typed in all of our information. I'm like, I don't know, we'll just see what happens. This will be fun. And we ended up getting an email saying that we had been selected out of over 1,000 applicants to be interviewed for Dessert Wars. So that was crazy. I was like, it was such a spontaneous thing, but it was really awesome.
I saw the photos. So Nathan, your brother went with you. Did you? So
Yes.
how did it work? Did you were with 50 or 60 other dessert, I guess, businesses or dessert products from around the country. Did you already have it made? Your cookie dough, did you bring it made? Did you make it there? Like, how did it work?
Yeah, so what we did, because we don't quite have like the right model to bring it with us, so we were like, you know what, we're going to prep everything here and we'll bring it with us. So we decided what we were going to make. It was our 9 months cookie dough, which is a sweet and salty, and we made a little over 1,000 portions of that cookie dough, and along with a few trays of pretzel toffee popcorn for the topping for the cookie dough. So we had made it all there or at our home and then traveled with it over to Atlanta.
And then you set up shop and you started passing it out, and you had 10 judges, I think I read, maybe. And so when did you start to hear it had to be speculations, right? And were other competitors getting to come around and try everybody's, sort of desserts as well? Because I feel like you can't be in a Dessert Wars and have 1,000 samples and not go around and be able to sample everybody's. I mean, could you do that, or was that just for judges?
So what it was is you had separate plating for the judges, and then you had your 1,000 plus portions for the people attending the event. Now there were a few vendors who we saw were going around and trying everybody's. We were so nervous. It was our first time. Busy. So we were like, okay, you know what? Maybe at the end, if there's time, we'll go to sample everybody. We had a few vendors trade with us, so they were like, here, have a brownie. We'll take some cookie dough. I was like, okay, awesome. So we got to try a few things, but for the most time we were behind our
Were
booth.
you the only edible cookie dough there, or all cookie doughs edible? The only shelf-stable cookie dough there?
I believe so, and I want to say that we were the only ones from Mississippi as well. It was a very Atlanta-centric, like, kind of event, I guess. So I think we might have been the only ones from Mississippi there, as far as I know.
So when did you realize that maybe you had done better than you thought?
Well, we never really kind of guessed. We were having such a blast. We were like, you know what?
We were just enjoying
ourselves. We don't care if we win anything. Like, this is so much fun. We're representing Natchez. Like, this is just the coolest opportunity. We were having such an amazing time talking with people. So we were just kind of like, you know what? If we win something, that's amazing. But if not, we had such a blast. So.
But you did. You came in.
We did. We came in third place, judge's choice. So we were the top 3 of the judges' favorites of the event, which was so amazing.
That is amazing. So what did you get with your award other than a really cool trophy and some, bragging rights? Did you win anything with it?
So it was just our little trophy and then bragging rights.
That's okay. Sure. Those bragging rights are worth it. But it's one thing, the validation that just comes with, okay, our product can stand not only just in our home in Natchez and our friends and family, but other people, find it delicious, too. I think that's always a really good boost of confidence, I would think.
Yes, it was such a big boost of confidence, and it was our first trip, just me and my brother, like it was about a 7.5 hour drive. So it was our
7.5 hour
first
drive.
time ever going on a huge trip by ourselves in a totally new place. We had never been to Atlanta before, let alone a dessert
What
competition.
time did y'all make it there? Because that depends on what kind of experience you had getting into downtown.
Oh my goodness. I tell you what, the traffic was mind blowing, but I think it took right about 8 hours. I think it was supposed to be around 7.5, but it ended up being around 8.
Well, you had mentioned you guys moved to Natchez, but you shared that you moved from Dallas. So Dallas traffic is probably nothing compared to, well, Dallas and Atlanta are probably comparable, but to Natchez, it's probably completely different.
Yeah, Natchez is like just your everyday little, tiny traffic here and there, but Atlanta is like 8 lanes of chaos, and you just have to be aggressive enough in your driving and safe enough to hope you can weave in and out and get where you need to go. But yeah, it was crazy.
It's crazy, but I bet the drive home was a little bit sweeter, pun intended, with your
Yes.
trophy and all the fun that came with it. Jeff in Oxford mentioned that you guys would make a killing there in Oxford. Have you ever thought about taking Rolling in the Dough on the road to other cities or pop-ups or things of that nature?
Yeah, I think after taking this Atlanta trip, it's really like kind of made me think about it. Like, okay, maybe we could like just travel around and do little events here and there, or maybe even look into, after we get, a stable location in Natchez, maybe expanding into other places around Mississippi or, other states
Are
as
you
well.
still at the farmer's market?
We are every Saturday. We go to the Natchez Farmers Market, and then we usually deliver around town once or twice a week.
So, Nathan, she still has you busy, even though there's no storefront, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So how does it, where are you creating the cookie dough?
So right now, we're working out of home. I have a little tiny house situation in my backyard, so that's kind of become my workshop. The cool thing about the cookie dough is all you need is a KitchenAid mixer, for the most part.
I might could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, besides the special flour and this and that, the KitchenAid mixer.
She just gave me one of them jabs, one of those sweet passive-aggressive Southern. Oh, yeah, you can do it. All you need is that.
Listen,
Plus a
you
little
totally
extra.
could. You totally could.
No, I'm only that completely and totally up to you, which I don't think anybody's ever had bad cookie dough. It's just the bad cookie, that you may have had, but everybody enjoys at least that, that starting point of the cookie dough. Was that a little fear for you, is the fact that everyone has such a stark, idea of what cookie dough should be, could be, needs to be with your product?
Yeah, I think it was definitely something to tackle. And, we dealt with a little bit of that when we first started rolling in the dough. But our main thing was, listen, guys, try it. I promise you'll love it. It's going to be great. Like, look, this flavor, I know it's super unique, but listen, it's going to be amazing. Just go ahead and try it. And most of the time, we could convince them just enough to where they'll try it. And they're like, you know what? That's actually good. I actually like that. So, yeah.
So, Nathan, what's your favorite flavor?
My favorite flavor is the king cake flavor. It's we make it for
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras. That's the word.
You are from Dallas.
Yeah.
Is it that obvious?
It's just super creamy and nice. It's made with
Cream cheese.
cream cheese
Mhm.
instead of our
Yes.
normal cookie dough base, and it's so nice.
So what are your other flavors now that are your standard flavors that you have now?
So I would say the chocolate chip is definitely our most popular, but I mean, we have anything from, a brownie cookie or a lavender lemon, or we have like a strawberry cheesecake, or you have, your classic snickerdoodle. So we have anywhere from, the most classic cookie flavors that you can think of to the most unusual, cookie dough flavors that you would imagine would be cookie doughs, but can actually work.
Where do you get your inspirations for the off the wall ones, or the you're not standard ones?
Yeah, so I think for me, I was like, I've been watching Food Network since I was about 10 years old. I have loved it, and you see a lot of different flavor combinations from the savory world or the more sweet world of cooking. And so I pretty much just sat down and wrote down any flavor combinations that I know work, just from seeing them on TV or practicing in my own cooking. And I was like, I'm just gonna try it. And so as people ordered each flavor, I was testing out the recipe. So I was the recipe was created just on the spot for a lot of the different flavors.
You and I watch the Food Network completely different. You're taking notes, and I'm just over there like, I wish they would come to my house and cook it for me. And since it is Tuesday here on Good Things, we've got Tasty Tuesday coming up next. And what better way to have that than continue our conversation with rolling in the dough, coming up next.